All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video. Now, Mike Florio, once again, Pro Football Talk Zone, Mike Florio is again talking again about Tom Brady coming to the 49ers. And he just won't let this one go. Tom Brady decided to retire and didn't want to play any more football and rode off into the sunset. Now, he unretired once before. Would he do it again? That is the question. Um, a lot of people say Tom Brady didn't play great in 2022. He still led the NFL in completions. He led the NFL in pass attempts. He threw for 25 touchdowns. I watched him the entire Niner Buccaneer game, which the Niners won in a blowout. But it wasn't because of Brady. I mean, Brady, the ball came out on time. He doesn't give you a chance to sack him. I thought he looked pretty sharp in that game. Now, the 49ers destroyed Tampa in that football game, but I thought Tom Brady did a nice job of neutralizing the rush. I don't think the 49ers sacked him the entire day. If they got him, they may have gotten him once all day. And it's because the ball comes out. I mean, he does not hold the ball in the pocket. The ball comes out. And as Brady has said many times, he loves playing football. He's been playing football since he was a kid on Portola Drive, rooting for the Niners. And I think, there's been so many conversations about Tom Brady playing for the 49ers that at this point, every time you see it, you're almost like, you don't even bat an eye. But he did sign a big time lucrative contract with Fox to be their lead analyst on the NFL. But he's not agreed to start that until the 2024 season. Why? I mean, why would be the question. Why wouldn't he just start this year? I think the network would rather have him start sooner. You want to have Tom Brady when he's more relevant. I think he's more relevant when he's just played in the NFL as opposed to a year later. Now he's Tom Brady, so you're going to want him either way. And I don't know if he'll have success on TV or not. He doesn't seem like the TV analyst type, but who knows? Maybe he is. But to me, it's kind of interesting that his Fox contract doesn't begin until 2024. It makes me think that he wants to leave this year open so he could just potentially answer somebody's call if somebody came calling in the middle of the year. Now, the 49ers situation at quarterback is obviously kind of muddy at this point. The Niners have two young, really talented quarterbacks on their roster in Trey Lance and Brock Purdy. Lance, of course, the third overall pick in the 2021 draft, has just 4 career starts under his belt and is recovering from a very serious season-ending ankle injury. Purdy, of course, the final pick, Mr. Irrelevant of the 2022 NFL draft, tore up his elbow against the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. That elbow meant he has a torn ulnar collateral ligament, and we're still awaiting surgery on Purdy's right elbow. And he may be ready in time for training camp. He may not be. It doesn't sound like he's going to be ready in time for camp. Maybe Purdy's ready in time for week 1 of the regular season. But I think the idea that he'll be ready for training camp or even the preseason is probably not going to happen if you look at the timeline. So, and then the other part about Purdy's injury is we don't know the extent of the injury. Brock Purdy could be out 9 months. He could be out until roughly Christmas. And in that scenario, Tom Brady makes a little bit of sense, right? Now, my first inclination would be like, you know what? Love Tom Brady. Think he's great. Florio wrote his contract will expire next month and he'll become a free agent. And the retirement letter he sent to the league and the union doesn't mean anything, according to Florio. He can play whenever, wherever, and for whomever he chooses if he decides he wants to play a 24th NFL season. If he decided to play a 24th NFL season in his hometown, it would be an incredible storyline, and it would probably vault the 49ers to be the overwhelming favorite to come out of the NFC if they aren't already the favorite. But having Brady there would make them the favorite. Okay, here's where I sit on it. I don't think that if you have Brock Purdy and Trey Lance and you really want to stay with both Brock Purdy and Trey Lance, and if Brock Purdy is looking at a 6-month rehab and not a 9-month rehab, I'm not bringing in Tom Brady. I'm not. I want a third quarterback who can play, but it has to be somebody who also can sit. See, if you trade for Davis Mills, if you trade for a Zach Wilson, if you traded for a Mitchell Trubisky, if you traded for a Marcus Mariota, I think those guys potentially have the upside to start, but they also haven't, they're not in an area of their career where it'll be controversial if they don't start. I like Marcus Mariota. I think he was great last year against the Niners. He completed 93% of his passes, and he ran the RPO plays to perfection. He put a ton of pressure on the Niner run D. In a lot of ways, I think gave Trey Lance a template for how to play the position when you have that same skill set, when you have the size and the mobility. That's what Mariota has. He's 6'4", he's 220, and he runs well. And that's what Trey Lance has too. They're in a lot of ways very similar skill sets. So if Trey's healthy, and we have every reason to believe he is, and if Purdy's got a 6-month rehab, I'd rather go after a Mariota. I'd rather go after, a Davis Mills. I'd rather go after a young player, even Jarrett Stidham in free agency. I'd rather go after a young player who, if he had to start, could start. But if Brock Purdy's great, then he could ride the bench. If Trey Lance emerges, then that guy could ride the bench. And you have a little bit more flexibility. If you go for Tom Brady and Trey Lance plays great, you're going to be sitting there stunting his growth. So Tom Brady at 47 can play his 24th NFL season. That's not doing right by Trey. So I don't like that. And then what if Brock Purdy comes back in 6 months and, the elbow thing was, while it looked very serious, let's just say he comes back fully and maybe even improves from year 1 to year 2. Now you're having Tom Brady sit there. You're not going to sit Tom Brady down because and you may have Brock Purdy ready to roll. So I don't like this scenario if Brock Purdy is only going to be out 6 months, because then I think Brady's the wrong guy. He will prevent you from playing Trey or playing Brock, even if they're better. So I don't want Brady in that scenario. There's really only a couple scenarios I want Brady. If by chance Brock Purdy's surgery was a 9-month surgery, okay, and the rehab was going to be 9 months, and you weren't going to have him till Christmas, and now you're just looking for a quarterback who can step in, I'd have some interest in Tom Brady. I still wouldn't feel great about it, because what if Trey Lance gets to Santa Clara and the preseason and balls out, and you've got Tom Brady sitting there? If Trey Lance plays great and there's nowhere for him to play, and remember this, Brady hasn't missed a game in like 6 years. It's been like 5 or 6 seasons the last time Tom Brady missed a game. So he plays. So if you have Tom Brady, he plays. And if he's, because of the stature of who he is as a player, he's going to play. So what if you sign Tom Brady and Trey Lance balls out in the summer and looks great in the preseason? You're going to sit him down and slow his development because you got Tom Brady there. I don't know that makes sense. In fact, I'd probably say it doesn't. Now, so if Brock's injury is 6 months and not 9 months, I'm really not interested. If Brock's injury rehab is going to be 9 months and he'll be out till Christmas, now I have a little bit more interest, but I still feel like Brady's the wrong guy because he blocks Trey Lance. All right, well, when is Brady the right guy then? To me, he's only the right guy if Brock Purdy cannot play until Christmas time because of the elbow, and the 49er coaching staff and front office staff don't believe in Trey Lance. If they don't believe in Trey Lance and Brock Purdy's out till Christmas, then Tom Brady makes sense. He absolutely makes sense. But I don't think it makes sense to sit Trey behind him. So to me, if you're going to go sign Tom Brady, you're going to probably have to give up on the Trey Lance dream. And I'm not ready to do that. I still have too high of belief in Trey Lance becoming a good player to give up on him right now for Tom Brady's 24th NFL season. The other issue is, so I mean, if you go to Brady, that means giving up on Trey. And do you want to give up on Trey? I'll say this. Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, the 49er coaches and players know a lot more about Trey's potential or lack of potential than any of us. So they know they probably have a good idea if he can make it in the NFL or not based on what he's already shown. We don't. We don't. we haven't seen him play enough games. But guys who have seen him practice all summer probably have a pretty good handle on it. If Shanahan and Lynch, if their professional evaluation is that Lance can't do it for whatever reason, they drafted the wrong guy. They don't believe in him anymore. They don't think he can operate Kyle's system, whatever. Then trading Trey and going for Tom Brady maybe does make sense. Um, then there's the financial component. And the bottom line is, why did the 49ers give up on Garoppolo? Part of it was his injuries. Part of it was just his cost and the fact that Nick Bosa, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, and others need extensions. So how are you going to get those extensions done if suddenly you go from 20 million Garoppolo to 20 million Brady? So in the way I'm looking at it, if Tom Brady was willing to play, why does Tom Brady even want to play for the Niners at all? He wants to play with the Niners at all because I think he would like to live in Northern California, or at least he knows that he would be beloved forever in Northern California by Niner fans and basically everybody would love Tom Brady if he somehow won a Super Bowl with the 49ers and, something they haven't done since January of 1995. It's been, almost 30 years since the last time the Niners won a Super Bowl. So if he got that done, that would make him very popular. Now, locally, what would make him even more popular if he played for a very cap-friendly deal? I'm thinking, I've talked to a few people on this, that Brady's going to get at least 15 million, or I mean, at least 25 million, excuse me. I would say he would need to take about a $15 million haircut to make this work for the Niners. If he's willing to come and play one more season for $10 million, now maybe I'm interested. And even so, I'd have to not believe in Trey, and Purdy would have to be out until Christmas time. If those guys are ready to play, it's time to go with the youth. It really is. As tantalizing as it might be to go with Tom Brady, if Trey's ready and Brock's ready, it's time to have a good old-fashioned quarterback competition and prepare to go with the young quarterbacks going forward. And then go get a third quarterback like a Marcus Mariota to fill out that room. To me, that's a great quarterback room. It's cheap. You've got 3 starting candidates, and there's all kinds of upside. So that's what I would lean to. If Brock's not going to be out till Christmas, if Trey's healthy, then Tom Brady's not a fit. But if Brock's out till Christmas, or if the Niners no longer believe in Trey, then and Tom's willing to take under $10 million, you see where I'm going here? There's a lot of ifs. I'd be interested in that scenario. So overall, if you said to me, what do you think? Tom Brady coming to the Niners? I would say it's unlikely. It's unlikely he's coming to the Niners. But if the Niners do get really bad news on Brock's elbow, maybe. If Brady's willing to come here for some super hometown discount in his final year in the NFL, maybe. If Kyle Shanahan and the Niner coaching staff and front office staff no longer believe that Trey Lance can operate Kyle's system at an efficient level that can get them to the playoffs, maybe. That's a lot of ifs. I would say right now, if I was a betting man, I'd bet on Trey Lance, Brock Purdy, and a third young quarterback in the mix for the 49ers in the season ahead. Thanks for watching The Krug Show, brought to you by Pig in a Pickle. We'll have more videos coming, so make sure you find us on YouTube, hit like and subscribe. And once again, thanks for all the support for the Pig in the Pickle Krug Show.